presentation and recommendations plan for Microsoft. My name is William Toma.
I'm Jackson Cabral.
I'm Aaron Clark.
I'm Anthony Rosetta.
I'm Juan Carlos Hudson.
And I'm Perry Hutchison.
We're here to talk to you today about the issues regarding Microsoft's cloud-based platform, Microsoft Azure. By the end of this presentation, you'll have a better understanding of how Microsoft can expand and compete with Amazon for their top market share in the cloud computing industry. This can be achieved through the implementation of our 3 recommendations, which include adjustments to pricing, public cloud security, and risk management. Today, we'll be going over the situation, the research we conducted, and our analysis of these findings, our 3 recommendations, our response plan, and we'll finish with our conclusion.
The threats that Microsoft faces are security breaches in the cloud, both internally and externally, as well as software misdesign, and then risk management, which includes cloud administration and the apps that other Microsoft corporate clouds are using. Now, to start off with the internal and external risk in the security in the cloud. So over time, we've had a lot of hacker issues, which the main way hackers get into the cloud is through spam emails. Now, these spam emails are sent to them, to any user using Microsoft Cloud, and if they open those emails, then malware is then installed on the computer, and all of the data that is put in the cloud is then put onto a personal database from the hacker. Additionally, software misdesign has caused a lot of problems internally for Microsoft. Now, these can be attributed to the risk management. So if an administration for the cloud is not properly followed, i.e. protocols or any decisions that are made are not across the board entirely equal or communicated effectively, there's a lot of misdesign and problems that follow. In 2012, we had an outage which was caused due to a leap year glitch. Now, this leap year glitch was not accounted for in the 365.25 days, which was human error. Additionally, in 2014, there was another outage, and these outages are very significant because it accounts for a lot of lost revenue, as well as a lot of potential users that are switching over to a different cloud service because there's been breaches and it's not very secure. We want to mitigate these issues and find that human error is the cause of these and see what we can do to keep that from happening.
Amazon is currently recognized as the leader in the global cloud industry, but with that being said, Microsoft does have some competitive advantages. According to Scott Guthrie, who is the Executive Vice President of the Microsoft Cloud Exchange Group, Microsoft is continuously working to expand to regions all over the globe. Currently, according to the Microsoft Azure website, the Azure software is located in over 34 regions, with 4 unique regions being planned as we speak, which is more than any other cloud service provider today. In addition to this, according to Microsoft Azure's website, they have the most compliance offerings of any cloud service provider in the industry, which is embedded right into their developmental technology. These competitive advantages allow Microsoft to open the door for new opportunities and, coupled with our recommendations, ultimately compete for the top market share.
Given our previous research, we've come up with 3 key recommendations based off of pricing, cloud security, and risk management. Given that Microsoft Azure is in twice the geographical regions as Amazon AWS, but still lags behind in overall market share and revenue, is a sign of poor market penetration by Microsoft. As you can see, the pricing data from both AWS and Microsoft Azure's websites show that each of Azure's and AWS's major plans are already very competitively priced with each other, with each major plan being within a few cents or fractions of a cent of its counterpart. With the key difference, as you can see, being that Amazon plans have a 12-month free trial period and Microsoft plans have a 1-month free trial period. The 12-month free trial period gives Amazon a competitive advantage over Microsoft by giving companies who are on the fence about using cloud-based technology an incentive to use them over Azure because they can see and use the benefits of cloud-based security for a longer period of time before any financial commitment. As a result, our first recommendation is to increase Microsoft Azure's free trial period from 1 month to 12 months. This will reduce a key competitive advantage for Amazon and give Microsoft a greater potential to capture future customers.
Our second recommendation has to do with public cloud security. With so many users of Microsoft Azure, their biggest concern is their information really safe on public cloud? Companies are becoming much more wary of the fact that their IT applications and their big data may not be safe due to both internal and external threats, just like the ones that my colleague Jackson mentioned earlier. Because of this, we recommend that Microsoft implements a hybrid cloud-based model because it's the best of both worlds. The hybrid cloud model takes the public cloud, which is used for more non-sensitive issues, and a private cloud, which is used for more business-critical operations. And both of these clouds will have the ability to connect to on-premise data centers. Because of these threats, companies are considering moving to a private cloud or storing things on-premise, but with the hybrid cloud, they wouldn't have to do that. They would have the best of everything. Now, at the same time, with this hybrid cloud model, it would help to increase security while also reducing costs. Research done by Rackspace has shown that overall IT costs can be reduced as much as 17% with a hybrid cloud model. At the same time, this will also provide us a great opportunity to surpass our biggest competitor, Amazon, who is currently the leading public cloud provider. Amazon really relies heavily on their big company clients to store the most important data on their cloud, AWS, but fail to neglect their on-premises data centers or the fact that these companies might just want to keep more of their private information closer to them in-house. Now, we can exploit this and start to pull away some of those big companies, an area that Microsoft seriously lags behind Amazon in, because we'll have the flexibility to fit any business need that they may have. Now, Microsoft really is in a league of its own when it comes to the hybrid cloud model. The closest competitors that they have are two much smaller companies, HPE and VMware, who have nowhere near the geographical reach that Microsoft does. The only ones that do are Amazon and Google, who are still currently only focused on the public cloud and haven't even started to look at private cloud yet. Microsoft is currently in the process of implementing this with something called Azure Stack. Azure Stack will work as the private cloud right alongside Microsoft Azure, both of which are cut from the same Azure fabric, if I may. And they'll be able to coincide with each other because they have the same IT infrastructures. We would like to see a successful launch of Azure Stack sometime this year to stay ahead of our competition. If we do this, we'll be able to achieve a sustainable competitive advantage for a long time while increasing security for our clients and reducing costs.
The third recommendation we want to implement is risk management. This involves taking a step backwards and analyzing the cloud services as a big picture. There are two aspects that we want to recommend. As you can see, the first one is tips on cloud services. We want to have shared services with customers, other companies who have the same value and security that we have. This is a benefit to us because if they have the same value and security that we have, the vulnerability for attacks from hackers and outside sources decreases. The second part to this is avoiding fast track. We want Microsoft not to implement updates all at once. We want them to do this in incremental changes, which ties into our third, which is risk assessments. If they do this in incremental changes, having a beginning stage, middle stage, and end stage, we can assess the risk at the beginning, the middle, and at the end. This is a benefit to us because if we run into a problem at the beginning stage, we can easily fix that problem and it can save time and cost for Microsoft. The second aspect is data breach response plan. This consists of having a data breach team which consists of a CTO, a Chief Technology Officer, who oversees IT administrators. Their sole purpose is to be deployed when there is an attack on the cloud. This is a benefit to us because if Microsoft is still providing value to its customers, internally this team is working to secure the cloud. The second part of this is having a future breaches checklist. This is a live breaches checklist, which are pre-made plans that we can easily pick and grab when there's a future attack that might happen. Last but not least, we want to have emergency contacts, which involves having our data breach team, stakeholders, and customers. This allows us to easily contact them when there is an internal issue or an external threat. This is an example of a future breaches checklist. As you can see, actions to be taken immediately, there are 3 steps to this: the notification process, investigation steps, and follow-up.
Now let's look at the numbers. We know that we want to decrease Amazon's competitive advantage while increasing Microsoft Azure's attractiveness. And so we have 3 major costs. So with our pricing, right now Microsoft has a 1-month free trial. That's costing Microsoft $9.5 million a year. We want to implement a 12-month free trial so that we'll be up to speed with our leading competitors. That'll cost Microsoft $114 million, which is a $104 million increase. And then our second recommendation, which Anthony touched upon, is public cloud security. The main cost that entails is time allocation of our current employees. So that's a matter of training our employees to start doing hybrid. So just like Anthony talked about, we need to have public and private cloud. And then our third recommendation, which is risk management. JC just touched upon that. We need to have a chief technology officer and then an IT administrator. According to PayScale and Glassdoor, a chief technology officer is $256,000, and then an IT administrator is $61,000.
Because our ultimate goal is expansion to overtake Amazon as the leading provider in the cloud computing service industry, we believe that it was most appropriate to create a flexible budget that allows for various inputs based off of number of new subscribers, the size of the labor force, and the time over which these new subscribers will be gained. The handout in front of you thoroughly explains the source, the reasoning, and the logic behind each and every one of these numbers. This equation will allow you to quickly and easily go back to your office after the presentation and use the Excel spreadsheet that I sent to you to calculate the cost of implementing our plan at various periods of time, labor sizes, and subscriber counts. This gives our model the key advantage of versatility and adaptability in the implementation of our model. For example, using this equation, we calculated that it would cost roughly $11.7 billion to gain 10 million new subscribers over a 5-year period.
4 major steps: assess, discuss, implement, and notify. Assess means look at where we stand with our competitors. What is our plan for the future? And then discuss. We're discussing right now with important members of Microsoft. We want to get this going. We want to get our next steps, our recommendations implemented, which is our third step. So that's a matter of talking to different departments, such as marketing, strategy integration, the cloud. And as we talk to these departments, we'll be able to implement these recommendations. And then 4 is notify our stakeholders. We'll notify our stakeholders at our next board meeting where our largest stakeholders will be in attendance. And then at our end of year budget release, we'll let everyone know about how we're doing.
The timeline for implementation of all 3 recommendations, we want to break this up into 3 steps. 1 month, 6 months, and 1 year. For the first month, we want to be focusing on pricing. When it gets to September 2017, that's going to be our 6th month. We're going to be focusing on cloud security. For the first 45 days, we're going to be focusing on running Azure Stack, and the next 45 days, we'll be running hybrid cloud. When it comes to March 2017 of next year, we hope to have all 3 recommendations up and running.
After reviewing the current issues that Microsoft faces in regards to the cloud computing industry, we can see some benefits from addressing these issues directly. With Amazon currently leading the market, Microsoft is doing everything they can to build competitive advantages. Just last week, we saw Amazon stumble in the cloud computing industry when their web services went offline for hours due to a human error. An issue and an error like this points to the need for security and cohesion in a global cloud infrastructure. In response to market concerns like these, we identified 3 key recommendations that Microsoft can implement to make adjustments to things such as pricing, public cloud security, and risk management. In addition to this, we created a flexible budget equation which will analyze the cost of implementing these 3 steps at a 1-month, 6-month, and 1-year schedule. The creation and implementation of these 3 recommendations and flexible budget plan will allow Microsoft to better hone in on its weaknesses and ultimately position itself better to compete with Amazon for the top market share in the industry. Thank you, everybody, and we'd like to open the floor for any questions.